Hello, everyone. Um, where do I start from? Let me start from my humble beginning. Um, uh, as I was growing up, we were in one town, and then again they transferred my father to work somewhere. So when we went to the next school in another district, this is where I started seeing injustice, and I think that's where I started fighting it from when I was in primary. So as soon as the first day I entered a class, I found all the girls sitting on the dusty floor and all the boys were sitting on the desks. And I was like, what is going on? I went straight and sat on the desk. And the boys started saying, what kind of girl is this? Girls are sitting down. I know that kind of patriarchy that Jen was talking about. Boys felt so superior, and yet they were very young boys and intimidating big girls. I was like, no, this is not what I know. I know everyone is supposed to sit up. I sat up. I continued with the lessons. And it was like a challenge to them, but I was determined. I started asking, why are girls sitting down? Is it? So they told me the girls are not bright. And I was like, no, this is not right. But I continued. So from then they started, what kind of girl is this? But within my heart, I was like, a right thing has to be done. And I wanted to put it right. So whenever I see any wrong thing going on, I felt like it should be this way, not that way. And I started saying, I think I want to prove that even girls are bright. They can pass exams as well as boys. So we started competing in class. It started from there. And so the story went on for like 2 years when I went to a secondary school. And unfortunately, I was abducted from, from my secondary school. We were in competition with these boys from the other school. So still, I still had the idea of correcting that wrong thing that was happening. I wanted to prove them. They would challenge me. You know, girls are not supposed to study. After all, you're going to become pregnant and you drop out of school. We shall study, become. I said, you will see. So that heart was there to change something wrong. So after my abduction, we were like 139 girls. So they chose only 30, and I happened to be one of them. So they took us, and I stayed for 8 years. It's a long story, which you can read us from Not Yet Sunset, because I narrated it very well. So after struggling and returning home, escaping, I got home and things had changed. But all these years I've been in captivity, my heart was like, I want to go back to school. I want to go back to school. I need to reclaim my life. So when I came back home, my parents got me back home and I was welcomed, shown love, and I went back to school. It was not easy. Still, there was another challenge. After staying away out of school for years, you're getting to this school, studying with children, and picking up from there. So we did an exam after just 2 weeks of rejoining school, and I was the second best in the subject that I like, which is biology. And this encouraged me so much, and I said I can still make it. So I continued, but during my vacation, I joined an organization that's working with conflict-affected persons. We had storytellings with affected women, which I knew most of. So, and while we were in captivity, we knew most of them. So we were like, it was like a reunion, sort of. So in the project, I got to realize there are issues, challenges that are going on as a result of the conflict that they went through. They were rejected from communities. They had medical issues. They had economic issues. They were facing psychological problems that needed attention. So it was a lot, plus their children. So me and my other colleague, we said, are we going to look at these challenges without doing anything, even if the research project was done? So we started brainstorming the names, and we formalized the organization, which is the Women's Advocacy Network. This is where we started doing advocacy. In our advocacy, first of all, the formation, we started as 5 women came out with this idea, and they would meet every Saturdays to kind of talk, like peer support. This encouraged so many other women joined. There was one group, And later we formed 3 groups within the same town. And as I speak, we are about 700 women in like close to 10 districts in the whole north of my country. So like it was so encouraging. The words we speak, we encourage each other. We said it is not the end of life. You can work, you can do this. So in the process, we had nothing completely. But what we did was, he would say, the only resources we have, we can still move to stakeholders who we think can help us. So we would go to leaders, we target leaders, we go to their offices and we say, we are women affected by war. This is what we like you to do for us. Who is giving support on medication? Who is giving support? Who can give support on psychosocial support? Who can give a livelihood support? We have this kind of women suffering, so we knew each one of them. So later, they called a meeting, like a press conference, and I remember speaking. It was on national TV. But still, just to create awareness, we were not yet getting the right response. And up to now, we haven't got the right response that is enough for everyone. But yeah, it's one. They pick 1, they pick 2, they pick 3. At least that is something being done. But we still need more. We did not only do that. We were being housed by an organization that was working with conflict. So then, as we speak now, we are independent. But the line of work that we did was, we went to radio stations, we sensitized communities to stop stigmatization. We call upon stakeholders who were giving support in all these issues. For example, those who are doing medical rehabilitation did it for the women, for the few. Those who were doing psychosocial support did that. Those who are helping with a few children were picked up for education that helps their parents. Jen talked about patriarchal societies. One challenge that many of the children, because most of these women who are held in captive came back with children, and being a patrilineal society, a child always belonged to the father's side, and the nature in which these children were born was was not in I don't know, legally you say not a legal way, because there was no marriage, no consent between the mother. It was just like through abductions, and young girls were abducted and given to old men, and it was a nasty one. So these children on return home, they are not accepted. And what we are doing, or what we did and we are still doing, is what we call child tracing. After these children have grown up, they start asking for their identity. They ask their parents, if they meet somebody talking negatively about them, because they have even been given negative names. So they come when they're very angry to their mothers and they say, tell me what happened? Like, how did I came to be on earth? How did you produce me? What happened to you? So it is a very traumatizing thing for the mother if the mother had not told the child. So what we do is, if like I said before, while in captivity, most of these women knew each other so much, so at least some information was known about the father. So we would do what we call child tracing. We organize as a group of women. We try to find the exact home where this man was, because most of these men have died. Others, if they're alive, then they're still there, but most of them have died, and it's very hard. They did not disclose their real homes for security purposes in case they escaped home. So it was very hard. But for the few that has been done, what I'm trying to say is also justice to the children. It's trying to make them know their rights, their paternity, their home. It is satisfactory to them. And this brings me to say, justice is not just the legal aspect of it. Justice is social. If these women are accepted into the community and they live peacefully, that is justice for them. If they are given economic support, since they have not studied, and they are now living a kind of like, how can you live your life doing casual work all through your life because you have not studied? That is justice for them if economic activity started for them. Those who are sick, justice for them is getting medication. Yeah, those who have, you need psychosocial support, for them, justice is that. That's why for me, When it comes to justice, I don't have a single word to say justice. To a survivor, justice is the specific need. And for us to say someone has attained justice, I relate to what we call reparations, which is for someone to say, I am fully repaired, it should be holistic. You may find the same survivor needs social justice, needs medical justice, needs the legal justice. All aspects of this justice are important. And if they are combined and someone receives it, I think that's the most important thing. And what I can say, what really gives me strength to do this work is that, when you feel it, we have a saying in my language that when someone has been, I don't know the right word to use, beaten or hit by rain, when you're moving and you're going somewhere, rain gets you somewhere. So you got drenched up. So it is only you who can speak how cold that rain is. So this is why I'm saying, what gives me really the courage what motivates me to continue doing this work that I'm doing, speaking for other survivors, is the fact that I feel the pain that they went through as well. So I know what it means when someone has gone through that. So that means I understand. So when someone says this, I know, yes, this is how it means. And so the fact that they have not yet attained all that they need, we have not yet achieved fully or fully addressed their challenges, it will not stop me from like speaking for them, doing something for us. I should say for us, because if I say them, it means I'm pushing that kind of name away from me. So, but in doing this, there are setbacks as well. First of all, it's not easy. Like in the first stages, it wasn't easy because everyone is a community. Like in my communities, having seen the atrocities that the rebels did in the community, like to come out in that very hot space again to say, yes, we are this kind of people. Yeah, it's not, it's risky. We risk stigmatization. Some people risk being like sent away from communities, and even like politically, although it has not happened, but there is that, there is a lot of risk in doing that. But because you feel that pain, it is paining you when you have a swollen space, some spots swollen, it is you who feel the pain. So it is you who should walk out and ask for like support for that. So that's all I can share for now. I welcome your questions.